Learn how to use JSON stringify and JSON pass method together with the browser's local storage. In this lesson, we want to look at how you can store and retrieve objects locally using the local storage that is provided by your browser. That is going to require that we look at the browser local storage API and see how it can be used to persistently store and retrieve complex JavaScript objects as text string. So let's look at an example that will demonstrate this in this lesson. So let's move into the script part of our code. And the first thing I want to do is I want to add an object, a variable rather, and that variable is going to hold an object. So I'm going to just put random things like a name of a person. So this will be Max. Then age, and maybe let me put something like occupation, engineer. So this is my object. So this is a native object in JavaScript, a live JavaScript object, as you can see. So now that I have this object, it's not time for me to, to serialize it using the JSON stringify. So I will make another variable, and you can call it anything, but in this case, let me just use my JSON as the variable name, and then I'll pass my objects into this JSON stringify in order for it to be serialized. Now that I have done this, now it's now time for me to set the item that I want inside my local storage. So since this local storage is provided by default by your browser, then you just call it local storage dot. I want to do what? I want to set an item. And you can see that there's a description here that says the set item method of the storage interface. When passed a key name and value, we add that key to the given storage object or update that key's value if it already exists. So I'm going to call on this method, and inside it, I'm going to pass into data or two parameters. Number one is going to be what I want to set, and then the value of what I want to set. So I want to set my JSON. Whatever that is returned from the object is what I want to set as the value for my item inside my local storage. And now that I have done this, it is time for me to now retrieve that data, retrieving the object from the local storage. Now, if how you set the item is by using the set item method, the way you retrieve it is going to be by get item method. So let's make another variable. Let's call it text. I want to use this variable to get our item from our local storage. Local storage of get item. And what do I want to get? I want to get my test.json, which is the key, and then I can go ahead and make another object, and I want to pass this variable so that I will be able to receive it in a normal text from whatever it is or wherever it is that is stored. And now that I have done that, then I can go ahead and then display results. Display in objects. And how do I do that? I'll make use of another method called document.get element by id demo dot inner html equals to the object dot, using the dot notation. I want to use it to extract just a value from what I've stored locally. And in this scenario, I want to extract just the name. So I'll use the dot notation to access the name. I will see the name on the screen. You can see Max displayed on the screen. Now, this example create a profile object for maps, and it serializes that object into JSON string and uses the local storage to set the item to lock it away in the browser memory. So immediately after that, the next part demonstrates how a return visit will work when you want to get your item or remove or retrieve it from the local storage. So it pull that text back out of the storage using the local storage dot get item method. It unboxes it back into a native object and then extract the name out of it. So as you can see, if you want something else aside from the name, maybe the age or whatever, if you want to extract it, then you'll be able to get it using the dot notation or the occupation. In this case, you will see engineer. So now you can see how we were able to, save and then retrieve from the local storage and pick whatever value that we want from our data at any point in time. And you might be wondering that what exactly is local storage? Well, this local storage is just a built-in storage fault into every browser. It lets your website remember information even if a user closes the tab or refresh the page. And this is useful in situations whereby you don't need to persist an information inside the database. So this is one of the usefulness of the local storage. However, the default has a strict rule and it can only store plain text string. As you can see that what we have here, they are just plain text string. So you can't just toss a live JavaScript object in there. So to get around this rule, we have to combine two JSON superpower, and you can see we are using stringify and we are also using the pass method. That is, we are using one to flatten it into a text string, which is the stringify method, and store it. And then when the user returns and needs that information again, then you pull that text string back out and then using JSON pass to turn it right back into a live object, which will now allow you to be able to make use of object properties like using dot notation to access such object property, as we have just done when we were trying to display the output on the screen. Here are a few key takeaways from this lesson. The local storage mechanism can strictly only accept and return text string. Passing a raw object directly into it without stringifying will result in it saving the broken string. And number two is that data saved in local storage has no expiration date, so it will stay saved in the user specific web browser indefinitely until your script deletes it or the user clears the browser card. So one way of clearing it is maybe if you go into your browser, you check your memory and you look for storage, and inside it you check your local storage. And if you look at my own, you can see, so this, unless I delete it, even if I close the browser or the tab now and come back to it, it will always be there. If I don't want it again, I can just easily clear it. So this is one of the way through which you can remove it entirely from the browser.